Welcome back to the Inner Compass. Today, we explore a deeply intimate form of suffering, the persistent, harsh voice inside your own head. It speaks in the first person. It says, "I always mess this up," or "I am never enough." This choice of pronoun is a powerful deception. Because it uses the word I, your mind accepts these judgments as direct reflections of your own identity. It waits for the moments when your defenses are lowest, like staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. after a minor social slip-up. In that isolation, it is easy to mistake its cruelty for a profound, objective truth. Clinical research suggests a different reality. This voice acts as an echo of past environments, rather than a true signal of your current self. We often claim ownership over this internal cruelty, mistakenly believing we are its original architects. Human survival begins in a state of total vulnerability. A child depends entirely on their environment, adapting quickly to the conditions provided by caregivers. When that environment is unpredictable or critical, the mind uses a process called interjection. We absorb the attitudes and judgments of external figures as a way to navigate and predict the world around us. Turning a caregiver's criticism inward is a sophisticated survival logic. Blaming ourselves creates a sense of control. It feels safer for a child to be bad than to accept that the people they depend on for survival are unreliable or unkind. This defense mechanism functions as a shield. By judging themselves first, a child can anticipate the pain. The actual criticism from the outside world loses some of its sting because the child has already delivered the blow. Early psychoanalysts documented this over a century ago, defining the superego as an internal map of the moralistic authority figures who shaped our early world. The cruel voice in your head today is the lingering ghost of an environment that offered no safety for your true self. Internal family systems therapy reframes this voice as a manager, a protector part of the mind that took on an extreme role during a time of crisis. It acts as an ancient evolutionary alarm system. Its primary function is to scan for social threats and preemptively attack your own ego to prevent the even greater pain of being rejected by others. The tragedy is that this protector is running on severely outdated software. It is still loudly shouting at threats from your childhood that no longer exist in your adult life. When worth is tied to performance, success brings a brief spike of grandiosity, which immediately crashes into a deep trough of shame. This creates a paralyzing cycle. The voice demands absolute perfection, yet fear of failing prevents any effort at all. The methods the critic uses to protect you from failure have ultimately become the cage that prevents you from living. Moving forward involves a practice called cognitive uncoupling. This is the simple yet difficult recognition that you are the one listening to the voice, not the one generating it. Healing results from an observational gap between the subject, you, and the object, the voice. When you unblend from the critic, it becomes a mental event you can observe, rather than a fact you must obey. This distance makes functional self-compassion possible. You can acknowledge your mistakes and your distress without allowing the critic to launch a punitive attack on your entire identity. Modern clinical psychology and spiritual teachings align on this point. Recognizing that you are not the voice in your head is a primary step toward regaining psychological autonomy. Finding that quiet space between yourself and the critical voice is where your real life begins. Take a moment to consider the harshest thing your inner voice says to you. Now ask yourself, whose voice does it actually sound like? And how old were you when you first heard it? Borrowed voices can always be returned. Thank you for watching.